Chris, especially for you. How to construct your cot. Here are the two end pieces.
Yeah, I actually think they're identical, so it doesn't really matter which one you put on which side.
They seem to be identical, although the mama's and papa's side there presumably should go on the outside.
They're identical. They're just on the. Yeah, don't worry about. Yeah, the mums and papa's on the outside. Right. Okay. Got to lean them up against the wall so they don't fall down. Right. If you're doing this single-handed, and then you need to. There are three other pieces. Oops. Why don't you come and have a look at the other pieces? It's not a video of me, right? There's that side piece, and there's that side piece.
They are not identical. You'll see there's a hole in one of them.
Well, they're in this one there are 4 vertical holes, whereas in this one there are no vertical holes. Okay?
Yes.
And then there's this thing which is unvarnished, and that's the base.
Okay, got it.
Right, so put the base to one side. So what you need to do is put the sides on first, and I suggest you start with the side that doesn't have the vertical holes. And the side that doesn't have, well, both actually, but the side, they have a recess for a bolt to bolt into, and they have one at in each corner.
Okay.
So the name of the game for the first one is you hold it up next to the holes that are in the end piece, and the bolt passes through the hole in the end piece and screws into this piece, and the bolts are over here. I've arranged these bolts and so on logically. So what we're doing at the moment is we're screwing in the 4 end bolts. So there's 2 in one side and 2 in the other side. So we take these 2 bolts. And this is the trickiest bit.
Please note, you can do this single-handedly.
Yeah, but this is the trickiest bit if you're doing it, well, in fact, whether you have a helper or not, because you don't want to put any stress on the bolts. You don't want to bend anything. So what you have to do is lean the side of the end piece so that this cross piece matches up with the hole, but at the other end, which Jude can show you if you can, right, is resting, the corner is resting on the floor. So the angle, what you're trying to do is rest this at an angle so that you can put the bolt through and line it up so that it engages, and then just with your fingers, you finger tighten so that it more or less holds itself, and then look down at the bottom there. You'll see that piece isn't in the correct position. It needs to be like that, right? Because what you're trying to do then, you put the other bolt through and match it up. This is tricky because Jude's in my way. And get up the finger tight. So now you've got those 2 finger tight. And then you get the 2 bolts for the other side.
He got them from there.
And you get the other end. Now this time, again, you're trying not to put stress on things. So you match up the holes and you put the first bolt through until it engages, and do it up finger tight. And bolt through so that it engages.
Please note, no tools are needed at this stage.
Finger tight. Okay.
A 3-sided cot.
The next step is to put the base in, for which you come over here. You need these 4 wiggly strange things and these caps. For each one of these, the cap will screw onto the top like that. But the first thing you do is you put the wiggly things in place. There are 4 of them and they go into the corners. They go like this. And each of these grooves, if Jude shows the camera, there's a hole in the wood there. Alright, so the wiggly thing slots in like that. And you'll need to choose, they're not identical, they're all a similar shape, but there's sort of, some of them are left and some of them are right. So if you have a problem making them fit in, try moving them around. But that's what they should look like. They should be inserted into the holes, and then the vertical piece should be threaded. Right?
Right.
And then you get the base. Excuse me.
The base, remember, is the unvarnished one. Does it matter which way round the base goes?
No, I don't think so. Although if you look on the base carefully, what you'll see, if you look carefully, is on the top of that there is some wear. You can see
Yes, I can
where
see.
the cap piece has
Yes.
worn the wood. So that's where the cap piece goes. So put it that way round. The sticker is on the upper surface.
Okie dokie.
So you then lower that down, hold it in the centre so it's balanced. You can probably do it with one hand. And just push the threaded end up through each hole. Like that. And then when they're all like that, you then get the 4 caps. And by pushing underneath lightly with your finger, you can make the thread vertical, so it's possible to finger tighten each of these caps. Might need to wiggle it around a bit.
This is a real-time video. 7.5 minutes, and we've got 2 sides and a base. And obviously, Charles is not working against the clock because he's doing it slow to show you how.
Okay, finger tight. If you're doing this, when you're doing this for real, you tighten all of these things up with a screwdriver. You need a flat head screwdriver, old-fashioned screwdriver. Right, now you've got to put the rails in, and the rails, I'll show you where the rails, there. The rails run vertically at each side. You'll notice, if you come around here, you'll notice that this side of the cot has got 3 holes down the side. That side of the cot has only got 2 holes, one there, one there. You can see which way around it has to go. The rail system relies on those three holes. Okay.
Yes.
And what you do basically is there's some plastic fittings. I'll show you how to fit them. But the plastic fittings just hold the rails vertically like that. So come and have a look at the plastic fittings, because the plastic fittings are different. And I've, on my window ledge, divided them into the 2 sides, so the left side and the right side. And each is a set. So the bottom one has a curved surface and a hole in the top, but the hole doesn't come through. So it sits like that, and the bottom of the rail rests in there. That's the bottom one. The middle one has a hole and it goes all the way through. Okay, it's got a rounded side, but it goes all the way through, and the rail goes through that, and that's the middle one. And then there's this one, which is the top one, again rounded surface, but the hole doesn't go all the way through.
Is there any difference between the top and the bottom?
Yes, if you look, the top one has this recessed
yes.
tube, which is important
Okay.
because on the top one when we install it, this other piece of plastic fits onto that recess
I
and
see.
swings around.
Okay.
And that's the safety catch. So
Okay.
it is important to get them the right way around.
Okay.
And the first ones to install, surprise, surprise, are the bottom ones, so that you can place the rails. So again, you just stick the bolt through from there and finger tighten into the plastic retainer like that.
With the hole obviously facing up. Do the same on the other side.
Then the middle ones. And I won't do the top ones yet because at this stage you should put the side and the rails in.
Does it matter which way the cot side faces, or are they identical?
I think it's identical.
Okay.
Yeah, don't think it matters. But this is one, it's not really a trick, but you have to hold this, again, holding it in the middle so it's balanced, hold that roughly in position, because the rail has to pass through the hole in the top of there,
Yes.
and then it has to pass through the brown plastic retainer there,
Yes.
then it has to pass through the hole in the bottom of the rail,
Yes.
and then it has to, whoops, I dropped it, and then it has to pass into the brown cap at the bottom.
I see.
And I've,
Which should probably already have been tightened with a screwdriver, but we're not doing that this time.
well, yeah. And then on the other side, same thing. If you're skillful, you should be able to just poke it through, bit of wiggling and jiggling, whoops, may be required.
Obviously, some people would need two people. Charles is doing this single-handedly.
Not very competently at the moment. There we go.
It's just a fiddly bit, and then it clicks into the rests on the bottom retainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you do the last, you do the top pieces. Helpfully, you'll see they're labelled right and left. So put the right one on the right side, and the right side just means facing the cot with this slidey bit facing you. It's on the right side. Okay, and then the way they fit on is that piece goes in there first.
Yes.
That piece, fits into there. You get it? So this is sandwiched in the middle. This piece goes into there, and then the bolt comes through from the other side. So you can put them together like that. Push that onto the metal thing there. Slide the bolt through. Finger tighten. Same thing on the other side. So the words face into the cot. Yeah. That's the left side. That piece goes onto there. That onto there. And the bolt comes through. Finger tighten. Now at this stage, if you're building it for real, you tighten everything. Right? It's good probably to leave them finger tight and not tighten them until you get to this stage, because then you can wiggle and adjust to get the angles right so the whole thing works. But now that it's more or less together, you just finger tighten it. And the way this will work is that this is in the down position. As you lift it up, the catches, have you got that?
Yes, very clever.
The catches
And
do
to
that.
let it
They
down.
hold the side up. You lift it in the centre to take the weight of the rail, and you then have to pull each side out. It's actually easier if you've got two people, but anyway. So on the way down it's a little bit fiddly because you've got to flick both of these things out at the same time, but on the way up, you just turn it off and it holds it. There you go.
Oh, what a lovely cot that is. Thank you to Charles for that wonderful video and demonstration of DIY expertise. All done in a nice slow manner in 15 minutes. Next time, let's see how he does it in 3 minutes. Goodbye.